The Evil Housemaid, Part 2. The night Efoni saw Ngozi kneeling before the earthen pot marked the beginning of a storm in the Omenka household. Though he had run back into the room trembling, the memory of her glowing eyes and the moving shadow in the pot haunted his thoughts like a stubborn dream. The next morning, he clung to Kayamika's side, too afraid to speak in Ngozi's presence. The girl, wise beyond her years, understood the weight of what they had witnessed. Her heart pounded whenever she caught Ngozi humming softly, her lips moving in whispers only the wind could interpret. Whispers in the compound. At dawn, Ngozi moved about as though nothing had happened. She swept the compound, pounded yam with steady hands, fetched water from the stream, and even greeted Madam Kemdilim with a bright smile. Yet, behind those eyes lingered something that made the air feel heavier. Kayamika bent close to her mother that morning. "Mama," she whispered, "we must be careful. Efoni saw her last night in the storeroom. She was speaking to something." Nkemdilim frowned, brushing her daughter's cheek gently. "Hush, child. Do not speak of such things too freely. Your father will not act on words alone. Let me watch her more closely." But deep inside, the mother's heart was uneasy. She could not dismiss the way Adiz, her youngest, clung to Ngozi despite everything. The little girl laughed at her stories, followed her about the compound, and even ate from her hands. Nkemdilim shivered at the thought of what could happen if her suspicions proved true. The pot of shadows. One afternoon, when Ngozi went to the stream, Kayamika crept into the storeroom with Efoni. They pushed aside a basket of yams and found the clay pot. Its lid was bound with red cloth, and faint humming seemed to seep through the cracks. "Don't touch it," Efoni hissed, pulling her hand back. "That thing was moving last night. I swear it looked alive." Kayamika stared at the pot with wide eyes. A shiver ran down her spine. She wanted to smash it, to end the fear that gripped her family. But a voice deep inside warned her, "Not yet." Suddenly, a shadow fell across the doorway. Ngozi's voice, sweet yet sharp, cut through the silence. "What are you children doing here?" Both froze, their throats dry. Kayamika forced a smile. "Mama asked us to bring yam for the evening meal." Ngozi's eyes lingered on them too long, her smile not reaching her eyes. "Oh, good children. Always helpful. Go on then." As they left, Kayamika felt Ngozi's gaze burn into her back. She knew then that Ngozi was aware of their suspicion. The illness of Adiz. Days later, little Adiz fell ill again. She who had been so lively now lay on her mat, her small body trembling with fever. Nkemdilim prayed over her, applying herbs and calling on God for healing. But Adiz's eyes seemed clouded, as if she were looking beyond the room into a place unseen. At night she murmured, "Auntie Ngozi calls me. She says she has sweets for me. She says I must follow her." Nkemdilim's heart broke. "No, my child. Do not listen. You are safe here with us." But as the mother comforted her, Ngozi stood silently at the doorway, her face unreadable, her eyes glowing faintly in the moonlight. The warning of Mama Chinya. One evening, as Ngozi walked home from the stream, Mama Chinya, the village widow known for her sharp eyes, crossed paths with her. The old woman froze. For in Ngozi's shadow she saw something not natural. It moved a fraction slower than her steps, as if another presence walked beside her. Mama Chinya whispered a quick prayer under her breath. Later that night, she went to Madam Nkemdilim. "My daughter," she said, her wrinkled face grave, "be watchful of that girl. There is something about her that is not of peace. I saw it with my own eyes." Tears filled Nkemdilim's eyes. "Mama, I fear the same, but my husband will not act without proof. What shall I do?" The old woman took her hands. "Pray. And guard your children well. Evil cannot hide forever. When it shows its face, you must be ready." Chief Obino's restless night. Meanwhile, Chief Obinna grew restless. One night, as the moon cast long shadows over the compound, he heard footsteps again. Gripping his staff, he stepped outside, but the yard was empty. Only the Udola tree swayed in the breeze. Suddenly, he felt a presence behind him. He turned swiftly, only to find Ngozi standing at the doorway. "Papa, is something wrong?" she asked softly, her tone innocent. Obinna frowned. "Did you hear footsteps just now?" She smiled faintly. Perhaps it was a goat or the wind. But Obinna's heart was heavy. Elder Okafor's warning echoed in his ears. The snake does not hiss only when it is ready to strike. The children's secret. Unable to bear the weight of silence, Ifeanyi and Kayamika went to their mother late one night. "Mama," Kayamika whispered, "we saw her. She was kneeling before that pot. Something moved inside it. And her eyes glowed like fire." Nkemdilim held her children close, fear crawling through her veins. She knew now that the danger was real. But before she could speak further, Adi stirred in her sleep and whispered, "Auntie Ngozi is calling me again." Nkemdilim's resolve hardened. "We must tell your father everything. This cannot wait." The village gathering. Word began to spread quietly through the village. The goats that dried up, the strange illnesses, the footsteps in the night, all pointed to something beyond the ordinary. The elders called a gathering beneath the great Iroko tree. Men and women came, their faces tense. Chief Obinna stood before them, torn between shame and duty. "My friends," he said, "I brought a stranger into my house. Now my children fall ill, my animals suffer, and unease fills my compound. I do not want to believe evil has entered my home, but I cannot close my eyes to what is before me." The crowd murmured. Elder Okafor rose, his voice firm. "Then bring the girl forth. If her heart is pure, she will stand. If it is not, the truth will show." Ngozi confronted. The following evening, Chief Obinna summoned Ngozi before the elders. She walked calmly into the gathering, her face composed, her eyes glittering. "My daughter," Elder Okafor began, "the family you serve has known no peace since you entered their home. Strange things happen in the night. Children grow sick. Animals waste away. What do you say to this?" Ngozi lowered her gaze, her voice soft. "Elders, I am only a maid. I fetch water, sweep, and cook. If bad things happen, why blame me? Is it not that sickness comes to all houses, and animals sometimes die?" Her words stirred doubt among some, but the children stepped forward. Ifeanyi's voice shook as he cried, "She has a pot. She speaks to it at night. I saw it with my own eyes." Gasps filled the crowd. For the first time, Ngozi's composure faltered. Her eyes flickered, catching the moonlight, with an unnatural glow. Some villagers stepped back, crossing themselves in fear. The storm breaks. The air grew thick, the wind howling through the branches of the Iroko tree. Ngozi's calm smile twisted, her voice low and chilling. "So, you have seen. And now you would cast me out? Fools! You think you can judge me?" Her eyes blazed, and for a moment, shadows seemed to stretch and coil around her like snakes. Children screamed, women clutched their wrappers, and even the men stepped back. But Elder Okafor raised his staff high. "Enough. Light cannot bow to darkness. By the authority of the elders and the prayers of this land, you will not harm this household again." The villagers began to chant prayers, their voices rising as one. Chief Obinna stepped forward, gripping his staff, his heart pounding but his spirit firm. Ngozi shrieked, her voice piercing the night. The shadows writhed around her, then shattered like smoke blown away by a strong wind. She fell to the ground, trembling, her eyes dimming. When the chanting ceased, silence hung heavy. Ngozi lay still, her power broken. Aftermath. The elders declared that the clay pot must be destroyed. With strong hands, they carried it to the edge of the forest. There, in the presence of the villagers, it was shattered into pieces. From within rose a foul wind that vanished into the trees, never to return. A disease fever broke that very night. The goats began to recover in the days that followed. The air in the Omenka household grew lighter, as though a burden had been lifted. But Chief Obinna never forgot the lesson. Standing before his family, he said, "Let this teach us, not all who smile bring peace. We must guard our homes with prayer, with watchfulness, and with unity. For evil thrives where fear and silence dwell." The villagers nodded, their faces solemn. They knew they had faced a darkness that could have swallowed them whole.